35 candidates for Ekiti electorate to pick from as state governor. INEC and police say all is set for Saturday.
We are going to host a joint conference of pastors and imams and pilgrimage leaders around the country so that we share ideas to ensure that Christian and Muslim matters enhance peace.
Hajj and Christian Pilgrims Commissions receive presidential handshake for cordial working relationship. Nigeria's royal fathers rise to the challenge of national insecurity, preach peace and peaceful coexistence. Good evening. This is NTA Network News, reaching you live from Abuja, Nigeria. I am Nancy Godi Angunihu, and reading with me tonight are Ameze Igiebo Ayanru in Ado Ekiti. We also have in Lagos, Jennifer Igwe. Let's now join Ameze in our Ado Ekiti studio for our check on tomorrow's governorship election. Hello.
Thank you very much. Ado Ekiti, the capital of Ekiti State, is expectedly fully tuned to the election less than 12 hours away. Correspondent Salihu Abdullahi visited one of the satellite communities and reports that the electorate there are also ready to exercise their franchise.
This is Ikere Ekiti, about 25 kilometers away from Ado Ekiti, the state capital. In the past, Ikere Ekiti has produced 3 deputy governors, and now it is going for the #1 seat. 3 out of the 34 contestants are from Ikere Ekiti. Young Adedeji Opeyemi turned 18 years on May 2018. He is a first-time voter joining the League of Electorate with so much expectation from the exercise.
We want Ekiti State to be peaceful, and monthly salary should be paid for the workers. We, the students, should enjoy the government.
It's very good for democracy, for people to have different choices. So it gives us an opportunity to the best candidate to emerge.
Security is too plenty for Ikere now. There is no problem. Everything is okay.
So what we are looking at tomorrow election is free and fair election, void of violence. So everything is going to be normal, as usual.
In few hours, electorates in Ikere Ekiti are expected to join other 15 local governments to choose the next occupant of Oke Ayaba, that is, the government house.
Whether their hope of occupying the #1 seat in Ekiti after being on the #2 seats in 2 different occasions will be realized depend on the vote cast this Saturday. From Ikere Ekiti, Salihu Abdullahi, NTA News.
Ekiti State is on the threshold of another history, with more than 500,000 of its citizens going to the polls to elect the next governor. Mohammed Abdul Kadri identifies 3 generations of electorate that will exercise their franchise in the governorship election.
The nation's electoral laws specify that any Nigerian below 18 years of age is not eligible to vote. The factors and actors in any election, therefore, of which Ekiti decides is not an exception, can be categorized into 3 generations of voters. They include those regarded as the first-timers or the greenhorns. With me is Adebayo Samuel, 18 years old, who was not born when Ekiti State was created in 1996, but is going to be one of the electorates who would decide the future of this great state tomorrow.
For me now to choose the right person I want, I'm happy.
I'm so happy to be a partaker of this election, even for the first time.
A middle-aged legal practitioner, Sunday Ochai, says Saturday's election should be an improvement over the past ones.
The stake is high, the hopes are high, but people are in high spirits for the election.
An octogenarian who is one of the founding fathers of Ekiti State, Deji Fason, has seen it all.
From 1952, Nigerians are always nervous about elections. But mercifully, many of the occasions we experience anti-climax. By the time the elections are held, most of the time, the temperature is down.
Observers say the electorate have the unique opportunity to deepen participatory democracy in Saturday's election. In Ado-Ekiti, Muhammad Abdelkader, NTA News.
Into our last story from Ado-Ekiti, there seems to be a collective resolve from the residents of Ado-Ekiti to conduct themselves peacefully before, during and after Saturday's governorship election. Adebola Brooks Lane Sunday felt the pulse of the people ahead of the D-Day.
Aworide Emmanuel is a commercial motorcyclist. He said he's been riding this motorcycle, popularly known as Okada, for the past 8 years here in Ado-Ekiti. Mr. Emmanuel Aworide, what does it take to vote? Do you even understand the process?
Yes, I understand the process. Tomorrow I will take my voter's card and go to voting center. I will present my card for the accreditation. After the accreditation, I will leave the place. When voting starts, I will go there again to vote for my own candidate. After that, I will not leave the place, but I will stay back and I will be watching everything until my vote is counted.
Most of the banks in Ado-Ekiti here are witnessing large turnouts of customers, evident in the long queue you can see at the automated teller machines.
There are lots of fears in people's hearts, believing that probably after election there's going to be a kind of an uproar, and so people are trying to make a kind of panic withdrawal.
One question I will want to ask is there any need for residents to be apprehensive?
We, the security agents, we are here to maintain peace, to ensure that the atmosphere is calm for them to cast their vote. And then we've told them this: everybody should come out and then, just do what that is expected of you. Cast your vote, and that's all. Yes.
Voting has been slated to hold in 2,195 polling units across the Ekiti State. Adebola Brooks Lane Sunday, NTA News.
Nancy, it's obvious that the race to Okeyoba is getting to a crescendo, and NTA is live here in Ado-Ekiti and ready to deliver an in-depth coverage of the election. You can take it away now. Good night.
Thank you, Ameze, for the updates on the preparations for the governorship election in Ekiti State. And moving on to sound spiritual exercise by Nigerians, President Muhammadu Buhari has applauded the working partnership between the National Hajj Commission and Christian Pilgrims Commission towards enhancing spiritual reawakening and religious tolerance for unity, peace, and development of the country. Granting audience to the leadership of the two commissions, the president assured them of continued government support in the task of executing the journey of faith by adherents of the major religions. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports.
Chairman of the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, Abdullahi Mukhtar Muhammad, and the Executive Secretary of the Nigerian Christian Pilgrim Commission, Reverend To Uja, were in the State House to jointly express formal appreciation to President Muhammadu Buhari for the unprecedented support to pilgrimage activities in Nigeria. They say apart from the freedom and liberty to operate without interference, the president has also been very supportive on matters of security, medical and consular services, as well as foreign exchange during pilgrimage operations in Saudi Arabia and Israel.
Mr. President personally signed a letter and he dispatched a special envoy to Saudi Arabia to request a special consideration for Nigerian pilgrims on the biometric capturing. The request of Mr. President has been granted by the Saudi government. Now the biometric capturing will be in almost all the states of the Federation that have pilgrims to perform the Hajj. No payment is attached. So wherever pilgrims are going for their capturing, they should make sure that they don't pay anything, and where money is requested, they should decline. So that symbolizes the good relationship between Nigeria and Saudi Arabia.
For the first time in the history of Christian pilgrimage, we are going to lay the foundation stone for the construction of the Christian pilgrims camp in October. And the president has made a provision for us in the budget, which has never been there before. And we appreciate that.
President Buhari challenged the Hajj and Christian Pilgrim Commissions to sustain efforts at promoting tolerance, national cohesion and development.
We are hoping that in the next maybe 1 or 2 months, we are going to host a joint conference of pastors and imams and pilgrimage leaders around the country, so that we share ideas to ensure that Christian and Muslim matters enhance peace and development in this country. And Mr. President is willing to support that and to stand with us to get our things done.
Both the chairman of the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria and the executive secretary of the Nigerian Christian Pilgrim Commission used the opportunity to enumerate benefits derivable by Nigeria from the spiritual upliftment crusades.
Government don't sponsor anybody for pilgrimage. People sponsor themselves. If they go there, majority of the pilgrims commit their time and energy in praying for the peace, progress of this country, and that will continue. And I believe God will answer that prayers. All the challenges that we are facing, it will be a matter of history.
A prayer program is very key and fundamental to the progress of a nation. And very importantly for Christian pilgrimage, I'm sure you know that we have imported a lot of ideas and strength basing from the agricultural experience of Israel.
This year's Hajj operations begin on the 21st of this month with the airlift of Kogi State pilgrims. From the State House, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
Meanwhile, Saudi Arabian government has granted the request of President Muhammadu Buhari for the establishment of biodata capturing centers in all the states of the Federation. This is to ease and hasten the process of the newly introduced mandatory biodata capturing for all intending pilgrims going to Saudi Arabia. Yusuf Umar has the details.
The new initiative by Saudi authorities for intending pilgrims is an additional security strategy and calculated attempt towards regulating Hajj operations in the country. On an assessment visit to the Biodata Capturing Center established by the Saudi authorities in Abuja, Chairman National Hajj Commission Abdullahi Mukhtar Muhammad commended the intervention of President Buhari and urged all intending pilgrims to make sure they are captured.
We are satisfied with the speed at which they are going. It takes the average of maximum 4 minutes.
On the issue of payment collected by some states for the data capturing, the NACON chairman has this to say.
This biometric capturing is free and no payment is attached to it.
Some of the intending pilgrims present at the data capturing center expressed mixed feelings.
We're already having issues because of crowd. So as far as I'm concerned, it's bad, it's wrong. The way they arrange this is very, very wrong.
It's really nice and it's good too. And it's moving very well. They attend to everybody well and everybody is getting nice treatment there.
First batch of Nigeria's 2018 intending pilgrims are expected to be airlifted later this month. In Abuja, Yusuf Umar, NTA News.
And on forging good relationship, the National Council of Traditional Rulers has raised their concern on the need to interface with the government to drive home the message of peaceful coexistence in the country. This was at the meeting of delegates of traditional rulers from the 6 geopolitical zones with the Secretary to the Government of the Federation in Abuja. Assumpta Onwebule has more.
Council of Traditional Rulers stating the fact that the communal clashes and destructions of lives and properties affects mostly the rural communities. The meeting is an interaction with government at all levels to promote national cohesion among ethnic groups, irrespective of religious, social and economic divide.
The mission and vision of the Council is to ensure a peaceful, strong, united and developed Nigeria. It is for this reason that the Council has resolved to continue to give maximum support to governments at all levels that are visionary and people-oriented projects.
The Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, urged the traditional rulers to be more vigilant within their communities, while appealing to them to support government on the campaign against drug abuse, especially among youth, and to shun violence at the forthcoming elections.
It is critical that we continue to cultivate peaceful coexistence across the country for us to achieve our objectives of creating a very vibrant and strong nation. I wish to bring to your attention the growing youth population in the country and the attendant rise in drug abuse.
He said Royal Fathers holds the key to adequate security in the various domains. In Abuja, Azomta Onwebule, NTA News.
Now, with another 111 Boko Haram suspects discharged at the latest trial in New Bussa, Niger State, people have continued to wonder why there is such a high level of discharge of suspects in the trials. Judiciary correspondent Femi Okewu, who covered the trials, said such discharge takes nothing away from the credibility of the trials.
Records of the 1,669 cases tried in New Bussa from October 2017 to July 2018 show that about 80% of the detainees were discharged by the courts, while 368 got convictions. This high rate of discharge, observers say, may have come from the process of arrest, which did not put into consideration evidence gathering and their admissibility in court. In crisis situations, at least in developing countries, it is always difficult, while containing the crisis, to also go fishing for evidence linking the suspects. Another process which may have had a bearing on the judicial fate of the suspects is in the drafting of the charges.
The members of the complex case work group in the Federal Ministry of Justice, who are specialized and trained to handle purely cases relating to terrorism, coupled with the facts available in the case file, come up with the most appropriate charges.
But in most cases where charges have been filed, convictions have been secured based on the confessional statements from the suspects and proof of evidence brought before the court. In this regard, there are various categories of suspects. There are the die-hard ones who are unrepentant. This group got heavy sentencing. There are also the ones that confessed to committing the atrocities but are now remorseful. Another category were forced into it and in some instances had their loved ones killed to intimidate them and then threatened with the same fate if they do not cooperate. In such cases, the courts were a little more magnanimous. The process going on over there is a process that will lead to the discharge of several of these inmates. These are inmates that have been here for 2, 3, up to 4 years, but there's no record of any offense against them. They possibly were victims of sweeping arrest, and charges have not been preferred against them. The judges will now look at the list of the inmates that have been presented before them and read out those ones that have no charges preferred against them and subsequently discharge them, which is what is going on there. But in all cases, the courts recommended a period of rehabilitation and de-radicalization for all the suspects. Femi Okewu, NTA News.
And more on quelling insecurity in the country, the role of the Nigerian army in the joint efforts of the armed forces that led to the degrading of the Boko Haram terrorists have been commended. This was by the national president of the Alumni Association of the National Institute, Khalil Bolaji, while leading a delegation to the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tukuru Buratai. The association says the armed forces can tap from its vast intellectual resources to strengthen the effectiveness of military operations in the country.
To appreciate what you are doing
for this country, and that as much as possible we have been enlightening the public of your role. We intend to partner with you because we have a team of resource persons in terms of in the military and of course civilian that can assist the army in doing the work, assisting in a way, and that's why we're here to give you this support.
We are very much aware of the enormous resources, human resources, the capacity that the Alumni Association has, and especially where it has to do with issues on security, especially issues that has to do with development, and indeed which has to do with the military technology.
The Chief of Army Staff reiterated the Nigerian Army's commitment to strengthening the partnership to promote and enhance research and development. President Muhammadu Buhari has joined members of the Redeemed Christian Church of God and well-wishers in celebrating life of the General Overseer, Pastor Folu Adeboye, who turns 70. In a statement by the Special Advisor on Media and Publicity, Femi Adesina, the President rejoices with Adeboye's family for the grace of service bestowed on them, which is evident in preaching and living with truth of the gospel. The President affirms that Nigeria's greatness among Committee of Nations derives largely from the prayers of mothers like Pastor Adeboye and prays the Almighty God adds to her years in good health and service to God and humanity. We still have more reports for you after this time out. Do stay with us.
A famous boxer once said, "The fight is won once you step into the ring." It takes massive investment, dedication, never backing down. In 2005, Glow invested in the world's only privately owned undersea data cable, then connected this to its extensive fiber optic network throughout Nigeria, delivering flexible and affordable data and generous airtime bonuses for everyone. You see, it's not what you step into the ring with that makes you the master. It's everything you did to get you there. Glow Yakata. Get up to 6 gigabytes free data every month for 6 months and 2,200 Naira bonus for every 100 Naira recharge to call all networks where talkers and browsers live. The largest data network, Glow, Grandmasters of Data.
Standards Organization of Nigeria, SON, brings a new lease of life to Nigeria SMEs. SON has put a greater premium on developing standards to improve made in Nigeria products for export. We have developed more standards for products like sesame, cocoa, gari, and more, courtesy of our accredited state-of-the-art laboratories. In keeping with the federal government's ease of doing business, SON has simplified its processes and turned around time for SUNCAP, MANCAP, and other certification processes. SON has intensified market surveillance, raids, and seizures to reduce substandard products in circulation, and offenders shall be prosecuted. Join SON in ridding our nation of substandard products. If you see something, say something. Standards Organization of Nigeria, improving lives through standards.
The federal government of Nigeria, through the Federal Ministry of Health and the National Agency for the Control of AIDS, NACA, will be conducting a comprehensive national survey known as the Nigerian HIV Indicator and Impact Survey, NICE, to reliably estimate the current status and spread of HIV and hepatitis B and C across the 36 states of the Federation and the FCT. NICE will help to plan and develop more effective programs to control HIV and hepatitis, as well as reduce their spread in our communities, leading to healthier individuals and families. NICE will be implemented through close collaboration with state governments and agencies by conducting interviews and blood tests on qualified participants in randomly selected households across Nigeria. NICE is free, voluntary, and confidential. NICE has commenced and will last for a period of about 6 months. This announcement is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Health and the National Agency for the Control of AIDS, NACA.
Do you know that
that the Nigerian police now operates in the best international practices of policing? Do you know that the Nigerian police has been restructured to be more accountable and responsive to all your security challenges? Now, what the police demand from you is your trust, your collaborative efforts by providing necessary information about criminals and their activities in your neighborhood. Be vigilant to achieve our creed as we promise. We shall police the country based on international core values of policing with integrity. We shall ensure that rule of law prevails in our actions and activities. We shall respect diversity, display courage, show compassion, and demonstrate professionalism. We shall operate within the principle of democratic policing. We shall shun corruption, and we shall make Nigeria safer and secured under the leadership of IGP Ibrahim Otum Idris.
Let the wind of change blowing across the country chase away crime for the benefit of our society. Yes, the Nigerian police says this change must come with peace and tranquility.
This message was brought to you by the Public Relations Department of the Nigerian Police Force.
Fake news which is shared for malicious purposes is a danger to our peace and security in Nigeria. Misinformation as fake news is a serious threat to our hard-earned democracy and promotes hatred and misunderstanding between our communities. We are all responsible for stopping the spread of fake news in its tracks. So, always check the source and credibility of any news item. Say no to fake news. This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information.
Thespian Family Theatre and Productions and Digital Peers International presents Ayo Jayesimi's Eton. The story. Showing at the Shehu Musa Yaradua Center, 1 Memorial Drive, Central Business District, Wuse, Abuja. Date 14th and 15th July 2018. Time 3 p.m. and 6:30 p.m. each day. Tickets available at AfriTicket, Deal Day, Aria Tickets, Bruno Saloon, and Genesis Cinema. Join us as we share our story.
Thank you for staying with NTA Network News. The National Council of Land and Housing has resolved to accord its full backing to ongoing efforts by the Buhari administration to provide affordable houses to all Nigerians. This was at the 7th annual meeting held in Gombe, which was attended by the 3 ministers in the Power and Housing Ministry. Ibrahim Jibrin reports.
Provision of affordable housing as catalysts for development and sustainable economic growth, the 7th National Council meeting of Lands and Housing attracted experts and critical stakeholders from 36 states of the Federation, including Abuja, to brainstorm on how to find a lasting solution to the perennial housing deficit in the country. Minister of Power, Works and Housing, Babatunde Raji Pashola, commended the Gombe State government for complementing President Muhammadu Buhari's effort in constructing housing units for middle and income earners in the state.
Beyond just housing, what we can do in other parts of the economy, how housing can also create jobs in other places, especially in the oil and gas sector. President Buhari has expressed his clear commitment to diversify this economy.
The deliberations at the council meeting will go a long way in finding workable and sustainable solutions to the perennial shortage and inadequate housing delivery across states and the nation in general.
Pashola said the housing program is expected to address the housing shortages to the barriers among the low-income earners and provide job opportunities to the teeming youth population in the country. In Gombe, Ibrahim Jibrin, NTA News.
And striving for food sufficiency and exports, the federal government and the International Fund for Agricultural Development partnered to boost production and processing of cassava and rice for local and international markets. This follows the establishment of multi-purpose cassava processing centers in Niger State. Musa Baba Aliyu reports.
Niger is among the cassava producing states in Nigeria, though adding value and processing have been the major challenges facing farmers. Malama Ramatu Usman is among the major cassava processors in local Goma in Wushishi local government area of the state. She said they adopted a local and cruel method to process the cassava, but marketing is another major challenge. But the intervention of the International Fund for Agricultural Development, IFAD, is assisting Malama Ramatu, the teeming youth, and other women who are into cassava production in 5 local government areas of the state. One of such intervention is this multipurpose cassava processing center.
The site of this project has been deliberately selected to facilitate the production and the business of cassava for these our farmers.
Niger State government says it will continue to pay its counterpart fund as it appealed for the inclusion of 2 additional local government in the IFAD support program. Malama Ramatu and other beneficiaries of the project are optimistic that the cassava processing center will further boost their production and in turn multiply their income.
Local government cassava processors, they are process gari and sell at the niche markets.
From Local Goma in Wushishi local government area of Niger State, Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
The head of the Civil Service of the Federation, Winifred Oyoita, has announced that the IPPIS verification exercise for federal government employees will commence on Monday, the 16th of July, and it is set to be completed within 2 weeks. Oyoita confirmed this during the press conference on Integrated Payroll and Personnel Information System, IPPIS, in Abuja. Oyeyemi Ajayi has more.
The Integrated Personnel and Payroll Information System, IPPIS, is one of the federal government's public service reforms initiatives, which started in 2006 to attain transparency, accuracy, safety and reliability in the management of personnel records to curtail excesses in personnel costs. In fulfillment of one of the cardinal principles of introducing IPPIS to block loopholes and discourage corruption, the scheduled verification exercise is to authenticate documents of federal government employees, with each employee presenting himself for screening and scanning of documents into the system.
The employees to be verified are those that have completed their update on the online verification portal. The online data update started last year in April 2017, more than 15 months ago. Those who fail to carry out the online update are therefore excluded from this verification exercise.
The head of the Civil Service of the Federation, Winifred Oyoita, admonished all employees of the MDAs to cooperate, as failure can lead to data deletion from the federal government employee database. As at the end of June 2018, 486 MDAs were enrolled with over 330,820 employees' salaries paid on the IPPIS platform. Employees in all MDAs are expected to do the verification at the date and venue stipulated. In Abuja, Oyeyemi Ajayi, NTA News.
Time now for us to join Jennifer Igwe in Lagos to give us more reports, including business news. Hello, Jennifer.
Thank you, Nancy. Good evening, and thank you for joining us in Lagos. The Joint National Assembly Committee on Land Transportation has urged Nigerians to embrace the rail revitalization as it holds huge potential to boost the economy and create jobs for Nigerian youths. Chairman of the committee, Senator Gbenga Ashafa, made the remark during the Joint Committee Oversight visit to the Nigerian Railway Corporation and inspection of the ongoing Lagos-Ibadan Standard Gauge Railway Project. Jane Ojuku reports.
The Joint Committee expressed satisfaction with the quality and progress of work done so far on the 156-kilometer Lagos-Ibadan Railway project, noting that there might be need to consider extension of their timeline in response to the contractor's demand.
Even if the entire project is not completed, if we are able to get from Lagos to Abeokuta fully completed by February, March next year, I think would have done very well.
The project, when completed, is expected to fast-track development in the area while enhancing movement and integration.
If you can move the containers from the ports faster and quicker, and people can now start coming from work from Ibadan to Lagos, development will spring up.
All the other working in a mass construction material, so-called, are all locally sourced.
This project has done a lot for the Nigerian local staff.
The committee urged the Nigerian Railway Corporation to channel more resources towards improving the haulage sector of the economy, particularly in the transportation of petroleum products, to reduce the amount of casualties resulting from the recurring tanker accidents and infernos. In Lagos, Jane Ojukwu, NTA News.
African leaders have been urged to emulate the exemplary leadership and virtues of former South African President Nelson Mandela by being selfless and working towards eradicating poverty, which is currently bedeviling the continent. South Africa's Consul General Daki Ephraim Africa stated this at a press briefing in Lagos to commemorate the centenary of Nelson Mandela. Amaka Owo reports.
2018 should have been the centenary of Nelson Mandela, as the global icon would have turned 100 years old had he been alive, assuring Nigerians in South Africa of adequate safety and improved bilateral relations between both countries. South Africa's Consul General Daki Ephraim Africa said the celebration is a reminder for African leaders to make life meaningful for citizens of their respective countries.
Leaders in our own right, as people that have got an obligation and responsibility to do something in our communities. So all of us as leaders are responsible for that, and we can therefore become the legacy.
Director United Nations Information Center Ronald Kayanja says Africa needs to adopt the 2030 framework against poverty, as more than 2/3 of the world's poorest people are found in the continent.
It is the responsibility of all of us, but number one is the responsibility of the member states of the United Nations, the governments. The problem of Africa is the problem of leadership.
The event highlighted the upgrading of prisons in Nigeria in line with the Nelson Mandela rules.
There is so much that has been brought forward to the globe through Mandela.
With the theme, Be the Legacy. Other activities marking Mandela Day include a lecture on July 18th, other works of charity, and planting of additional 5 trees to the 95 trees in Mandela Gardens in Asaba Delta State. In Lagos, Amaka Owo, NTA News.
Federal Inland Revenue increases revenue by 42%, realizing 75% of its total target, just as financial experts identify the adherence of financial institutions to ethical standards and professionalism as critical to tackling corruption. Let's join Abola De Salami for details in a business news segment.
Glad to have you join us on the business news segment. The Federal Inland Revenue has realized a total of 2,529,615,174,601 naira from various taxes from January to June 2018. The amount shows 75% of its total target in the year 2018. A report on the revenue performance submitted to the Minister of Finance, Kemi Adeosun, showed that increase in the revenue grew by 42% when compared with that of the year 2017. The federal government, in entrenching good governance and accountability, Red Riot Act on corruption and other corrupt practices, in ensuring that the fight is sustained at all levels, the need for financial institutions to adhere to ethical code of conduct with a view to promoting transparency in fiscal and public financial management practices in the country has been advocated.
When a country's accounting system is characterized by integrity and professionalism, other sectors will be well positioned to discharge their duties appropriately, thereby aiding growth and development in the economy.
Biggest cause of the economy today is corruption. If people have cultivated conscience, that cost can come to zero right now, and then all our deficits, all our foreign debts, everything can be cleared in just one fiscal year.
Developing the tourism sector for economic benefit will require a sustained public-private partnership. Stakeholders say if the needed infrastructures are put in place, the sector's contribution to the growth of GDP would increase from the current 34% and boost government earnings.
The tourism sector in Nigeria accounted for 34% of our GDP and provided about 20% of the nation's employment in 2017. It is therefore obvious that if well harnessed and strategically linked with other emerging viable sectors of our economy, domestic tourism in the country is capable of being a strong and veritable engine of growth for the nation.
And now let's see how stocks were traded on the floor of the Nigerian Stock Exchange today.
Trading closed in the green on Friday, appreciating by 0.45% to close the all-share index in 37,392.77 basis points, with a volume of shares traded at 212 million, valued at 3.2 billion naira, which exchanged hands in 3,143 deals, with a market capitalization of 13.5 trillion naira. Nestle, with 27 naira gain, led the table, followed by Seplat, which appreciated by 15 naira, while Flour Mill, with 1 naira 5 kobo loss, led the table, followed by Fort Oil, which depreciated by 1 naira 3 kobo per share.
Stock market reports concludes business news segment. The news continues shortly. Please stay with us.
Thank you, Abolade. You're still watching NTA Network News. More reports ahead after this timeout. Please stay with us.
National Assembly invites members of the public to the first National Assembly Open Week to broaden public understanding of legislative function and processes and engender interaction between legislators and key stakeholders. For the 4 days, activities include interactive sessions, questions and answers, exhibitions and tours. Special guest of honor, His Excellency Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR, President, Federal Republic of Nigeria. Host, His Excellency Dr. Abubakar Bukola Saraki, CUN, President of the Senate, and Right Honorable Yakubu Dogara, Speaker, House of Representatives. Members of the general public are cordially invited. Venue, National Assembly Complex, Abuja. Date 16 to 19 July 2018. Time 9 a.m. daily. For ease of access into the venue, participants should register at the National Institute for Legislative and Democratic Studies, 18 Danube Street off IBB Way, Maitama, Abuja, on Saturday 14th July and Sunday 15th July 2018 between 10 a.m. and 5 p.m. National Assembly Open Week, advancing inclusive governance through legislative openness. Announcer, Distinguished Senator Ahmad Lawan, PhD, CUN, Leader of the Senate and Chairman, Planning Committee.
When we first met, the first question I asked was,
where have you been all my life?
Since then, we have taken every step together. We enjoyed having a pillar of support.
So actually, especially when the kids were schooling abroad. Oh, how we made it through those years.
We've grown together, and we really wouldn't have come this far alone.
The chemistry is amazing when we share the same passion, the same drive.
Yes.
And the same vision to succeed.
Everything is so smooth. No drama, no stress, no story.
In fact, we're practically family.
Let's help you achieve your visions and aspirations, milestone by milestone.
FCMB.
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 FCMB, my bank and I.
Time don't reach again for the biggest event for top football matter. Now mobile pill and win. And as millions of people around the world they scatter their head on top their favorite teams, mobile won't make sure say you go hammer your own trophy big time. Whether you be mechanic, driver, even car owner. Now mobile pill and win. Just buy the 4-liter size of mobile super 1000 lubricant. Peel the front and back labels and you go see pin number. Text mobile plus the pin to 58123 and instanta you go win airtime. That pin where you send so go also qualify you for the raffle draw for mobile pill and win promo where you fit win tear rubber motor, generator, gas cooker, motorcycle, tricycle, smartphone and other prizes there. No be small thing o. Mobile promo go shele from the 15th of May go reach 31st of August 2018. The more mobile lubricant you buy, the more your chance to win. No dull yourself o. Make you dey peel, dey win, dey go. Terms and conditions dey sha o.
Make it mobile.
There is a reason Africa is called the new frontier. What was once potential is now an opportunity ready to be seized. Once revered for our resources, today's wealth lies in our people. People who build the cities that shape the future. People who know an idea in one place means business in another. A generation for whom technology means there are no borders, no boundaries. We are the new lions in a brave new world, kings of the urban jungle. And as is a bank that puts the world in our pocket and the future in our hands. UBA, Africa's global bank.
The Financial Reporting Councils of Nigeria has presented a reviewed draft of Nigerian Code of Corporate Governance to promote ease of doing business, attract local and foreign investment, and enhance integrity of the Nigerian capital market. The code was presented at the public hearing and sensitization parley on Nigerian Code of Corporate Governance, and Ilyasu Ali Yakubu was there.
Financial Reporting Council of Nigeria is a regulatory body that promotes and enforces the standards of accounting and financial reports to all organizations in Nigeria. The Nigerian Code of Corporate Governance 2018 was developed based on a comprehensive review of the suspended 2016 Code of Corporate Governance by a 15-man technical committee.
Now this code is about scalability and flexibility. In other words, this is a code that tries to define minimum standard of governance, regardless of the size of the company, regardless of the complexity of the company.
And we see the National Code of Corporate Governance as something that is particularly suited to the small and medium scale enterprises to begin to adopt good practices that will take them to the next level.
I think it's just a wonderful opportunity again to show the sincerity of this administration in ensuring that organization has certain code to follow. It's been standardized.
The Financial Reporting of Nigeria is also responsible for developing and publishing accounting and financial reporting standards to be observed in the preparation of financial statements of public entities in Nigeria and monitor compliance with reporting requirements specified in the adopted Code of Corporate Governance for related matters. In Abuja, Ilyasu Ali Yakubu, NTA News.
Still on sincerity of the Nigerian government, Minister of State Environment Ibrahim Usman Jibril has said that social accountability of the present administration has triggered Nigeria's economic and social development. He stated this at the 18th inaugural lecture series of Nasarawa State University, Kefi, Nasarawa State. Suraj Abdullahi has the details.
Inua Musa Fodi, the inaugural lecturer, posits that public interest is an obligation of accounting profession, hence upholding to the core ethics of the profession aligned with the international best practices.
The obligation of the accountant is actually to serve the public. Even though I deconstructed to say that the accountant begins to redefine the public to make relevant public, I insisted that the real public must actually be served. And the real public are members, common man on the street. The common man on the street must begin to use accounting information to hold political office holders and those charged with the responsibility for managing our resources.
Minister of State for Environment Ibrahim Usman Jibril said the lecture reflects the direction of the present administration's vision.
Accountability is one of the key elements of good governance, and this government is known for its drive for good governance, fighting against corruption, fighting against impunity, and fighting against doing things that are wrong. So we've known that it's not only the government alone, that even academicians are concerned about good governance.
The 18th inaugural lecture, titled Framework for Deconstructing Interest Obligation, Myth Underlying Social Responsibility, was believed to have come at the right time by the speakers at the lecture. From Kefi, Suraj Abdullahi, NTA News.
We take our final break now. The news continues in a moment.
Brought us as usual.
As usual. You have no problem.
For the three
you are welcome, sir.
As usual, yeah?
You take that one. That one. You don't understand? We want Nigeria homegrown rice. Finish. You don't have? You don't have?
Join the rice revolution today.
No other rice that tastes like Nigerian rice. Are you sorry? That's the Nigerian rice we are talking about. Chocolate made in Nigerian rice. Healthy food. I'm going to bring Mrs. to come to chocolate rice made in Nigeria here. And see how it are made.
Correct.
How they are cook it.
Correct.
Homegrown rice are good for your health. It boosts our economy and give employment to our people.
This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
And turning attention to sports now, FIFA has expressed satisfaction with the organization of the 2018 World Cup by Russia as it expects another eye-catching performance at the third-place contest between England and Belgium on Saturday. Ayodeji Makinde, who is in Moscow, reports on the build-up to the final between France and Croatia on Sunday in our World Cup update.